Hi there, I'm Crosbie from Finchy Chevrolet, and I'm gonna try something new today. I'm gonna start something called Finchy's Finds. I'm just gonna go and find a vehicle off of our lot, something that's interesting, something that I think is pretty unique, and I'm just gonna talk about it, go over the features in it, and share with you what I know about the vehicle. So today we're gonna start off with a 2016 3LT Z51 Corvette. We just got it in. It is in the condition that you're seeing it right now, so I kind of like doing those in my videos if you haven't seen one of mine before. That way you can kind of see what the condition of the vehicle is like from when we received it. I don't know a lot about the previous owner. I will find out if you are interested by the time you come in to drive the vehicle, but what I do know is what I'm looking at right now, and it's a pretty awesome example of some options that I would really consider never investing into when it's new, but once they're on the vehicle and it's already been through one owner, they're pretty amazing options. So this is a very unique vehicle for that reason. There's a couple of high ticket items on here that from the factory were over $3,000, and it makes it so that this vehicle actually had a list price of $98,000 when it was new. That's pretty remarkable for a vehicle like that, because a base Z06 is $96,000. So for this vehicle to be over $96,000, there's a lot of awesome items that are on this, and like I said, when you get one of these things that's been already used once, it means that you can afford to maybe invest into something that you would have liked to have had, but the price point on it would have maybe deterred you. So without further ado, I'm going to go around the vehicle. So it's a Z51. What does that mean? Well, it is a performance model. It'll have the same engine as the Grand Sport, so 460 horsepower with a dry sump oil system. It'll also have the performance exhaust, so I can go into the system over here and I can change around the exhaust notes just by pressing these buttons right here, going from stealth mode, which I'll show you outside right now, and then we're going to go back to track mode. So that's kind of cool. I personally suggest always just leaving it on track mode. It's a beautiful vehicle, and there's no sense in stifling the sound to make it look like or sound like a Toyota. So with that, it's got the performance exhaust. The brakes are a little bit larger. They're a 13-inch rotor, which are slotted and vented. And then it also has the available option of magnetic ride control, which thankfully this has. That's probably one of the most famous pieces of technology that we and Delphi have come up with. And it really changes the characteristics of the vehicle. You can do a ton of detailed stuff when you're in the performance menu. With that, you can see things like a limited slip differential, which is right, this one right here. That's part of the Z51. And then going into the track package here, you'll see the magnetic ride control allows me to even choose what kind of traction I want to be in. So I choose wet or dry. Sport 1 is the one that I usually use for track days. Sport 2 is a little bit more of the nannies off, and then race mode, you're on your own. That ability to have that kind of option and to customize the suspension and stiffen it up and then also dampen it is something that you would get with the mag ride, and it's well worth its option of about $2,000 new. This also has a bigger tire. It's got the 20s in the rear and then 19s in the front. It's a 285 in the rear, and then it's a 245 in the front, with Michelin Super Sport tires, which have a decent amount of tread on them. I'd say that they're probably about 85 to 80% through their 85% left on them, not through. And then it's a 3LT, which means the level of trim for the creature comfort items that are on the vehicle. So the 3LT is really, again, a $9,000 option that normally most of the people that are buying these vehicles are not looking at getting into, just because the leather is beautiful, it's awesome, but you know, for $9,000 to have navigation and leather, it's a big option to have. This also has the 2LT features, which would be the heads-up display, the air conditioned and heated seats with 3 different levels of intensity. You can also see that they're over there for the passenger on the Bose sound system is a 9-speaker sound system when you go to the 2LT, and it has center point as well. An unbelievable sound system. The center point has the ability to change the sound characteristics when you have the roof off, so that is pretty unique. It's going to adapt to the environment that it's in. And then there's a leather wrapped steering wheel. There's no heated options for these, but you really don't need it, honestly. The last big thing on the inside is the competition seats. These are amazing seats. They're another option that's $2,600 that is really tough to justify if you're looking at keeping the price point below what a Grand Sport would be. And they are amazing in terms of being able to adjust the sides, the bolsters. I can get these things to move in and out. I can change obviously the lumbar support, and then you have up here a cool little design thing, but it's actually functional. This is actually for when you're racing, so that you can put your Hans device on, or a harness device for a 3-point racing seatbelt. So there's actually some functionality behind why these are here. It's not just for the aesthetics, and it's got a carbon fiber insert in here as well. You'll also see that in this, it has the red stitching, which is just awesome. It's only available when you get to the 3LT. I wish I had the availability on lower end models. So it is one of those big things that if you go to the 3LT, go for the red stitching, or even another color, because it's super hard to find these things, and when you get them, it really adds to the whole characteristic of the vehicle. So the interior of this thing is done up very nice. It smells really nice in here. This is called a Moulin leather, which is a full Napa full grain leather. The only other vehicle that has this type of leather is our Cadillac Escalade Platinum. So you have to go all the way to the top in the Escalade lineup, which is around 112, 114, depending on the wheelbase, to get the exact same leather that's in this thing. So I'm gonna go on the outside now. There's one last thing I'm gonna show you, which is part of the 3LT package, and that's the camera system with the performance data recorder. There is a USB device in here, a micro SD that you can store stuff in, and then you have your overlays that you can change for when you're on the track, and it comes with a navigation as well. So those are the things that come with the 3LT, and I'm gonna go on the outside now. He's got the custom Stingray door sills on here, and it comes with a custom chrome Stingray package here. That's part of a badge package that was opted for on this. You're gonna see it has the Stingray inserts for the chrome caps, and then also it has 20-inch chrome rims that are in the split spoke Z51 style, and there you can see the slotted rotors. This is functional. On the lower end models it's not, so the air is going to go in here. There's a heat exchanger down and about here that cools off the transmission, and then the hot air is expelled through these two vents right there. You can see it hasn't been cleaned up yet. There's still a little bit of soot. You can tell which mode this guy's been in just by looking at how dark these outside exhausts are. He's had the two inside ones shut off for the most time, so that usually gives me the sign that he wasn't driving this as hard because it wasn't in a race mode. He had most of the exhaust shut off most of the time, or she. The color on it is jet black, and we're getting into one of our awesome features that most people don't opt for, but once you have it, if you can afford to get it, it's an amazing thing to add on for the uniqueness. This is an exposed carbon fiber top, and it goes along with this exposed carbon fiber hood insert. So these two items alone right there are about $6,000 in items that were from the factory new. Then we have the chrome badge package on this vehicle as well. You got your beautiful LED lights and your turn indicators right there. And there, if you can see it, is the tread. I'm gonna actually turn the steering wheel a bit just so that you can get a look at it a little bit more. So this is a good sign that there's a lot of tread left. When you go to the track, or if you are driving this thing over about 10 or 15,000 kilometers, these are the first things to go, and then this one will start to blend in as well. I can tell that he's got no problems with the balancing. There's an even wear all through the tire. Sometimes if they do go to the track and they don't change their PSIs, you'll see that there's a lot of wear on the inside because the PSIs are bulging out when it gets hot. And then another sign is there's no marbling on the outside here. Once you put a heat cycle onto these tires on a track, this will get to like a little pitted kind of style. You'll see little divots and pits in it. That's because it was marbling because the tires were so hot. So I can tell that this tire and this vehicle was never tracked, and with it only having I think about 6,200 kilometers, I highly doubt that he went through an entire set of tires. The other one that is a dead giveaway that he wasn't driving this hard is there's no chips or stones that I can see visibly on here. When you're driving very fast, there's a lot more chances of having chips and stuff like that occurring on the front of it, just because you're obviously moving a lot faster, so that means that there's a lot more chance for the stones to actually penetrate through the paint. So if you have any more questions, this video is getting a little long. I'm going to shorten it up right now and finish off. But if you wanted to come in and drive this vehicle with me, by all means, come on in. This is Finchy's Fine and Morgan Crosbie. Thanks a lot.